there, everybody. It is Dr. Devin, and it is time for another episode of If They Knew. I can't wait. I love these conversations because I never know what's going to come up, but I know that on the other side of the conversation, there is a healthier me, a happier me, a more whole version of me, because you never know what spending a few minutes in conversation with another person, another warrior, another bright-souled human can do to take your life, your love, your experience in this grand adventure to the next level. So if you're ready, it's go time. All right, everybody, I've got two of my absolute favorite human beings on planet Earth joining me today. And what I love most is that when I reach out to these two humans and I say, hey, I got a thought flash. Hey, Innate whispered this thing and I need your voice. I need your heart. They both say, yeah, what do you need? When? They don't ask how much. They don't complain. There is not even a pause. They are in the flow. They live in the flow. So please welcome Dr. Ben Tapper and Dr. Lona Cook.
Hello. Thank you for the nice warm welcome, Devin.
I just adore you guys. Time is of the essence, huh?
Yes, absolutely it is. The time is now.
Do you feel the rise? We're going to jump in with a few questions, but do you guys feel that tension point coming to a head and a rise in the energy, a shift just around the corner?
I do. I feel like it's palpable in our community. Is like, you just can feel that the people, I said this to someone yesterday. I was at a local health and human services board meeting yesterday. It's like, it's almost like there at those meetings, we're not even talking about some of this anymore because I think they know the people can't be pushed like they were a year ago. It's so different. If I take myself back 365 days, I'm at a conference right now with 400 or 500 other chiropractors. And it's like last year, this is the first time we saw mass faces in a while. And it just felt so different. And this year it's like, I don't know, we're already moving. We got momentum behind us now. So yeah, I feel like the times are changing.
100%. I mean, I feel like the soil for our profession to really grow is now. It's the same soil that was 100 years ago for the chiropractic message to be heard across the world. I mean, if you look at the Spanish flu during all that propaganda, the fear mongering, literally it's the same song and dance today. And so the soil for the truth and for chiropractic to really sprout is now. That's why we need to be understand that chiropractors, we need to take the reins of this thing and really lead the way here when it comes to true health.
And that's, I can, in talking to students and docs and people that they feel it and they want in, but they can't see a way in, or their own fears, right? Everybody's facing their own shadows right now. But I look to the two of you and Lona, you're at the thing right now, right? You're taking a minute right now because you're leading in your state associations, you're in the schools, you're at the state level making the change. Ben, you're going to all your local meetings, you're traveling the whole country speaking. So before I jump into questions that I already told you we were going to jump into, I want to know how you guys not only hear the call of that thing within you, but can face your shadow and move through the fear of speaking out and leading in a time like this.
Lona, do you want to take it first?
Sure. I think, up until this point, the knowledge of myself and knowing what that feeling feels like to move, to actually take action, and not necessarily in this thing that we're encountering right now, but even the opening of a practice, the birthing of a baby, to know what it feels like to let life happen through you. That has given me courage at this point to know that I have to be me. I have to stand with what I know and to speak my truth. To not speak my truth, I'm more afraid of what that means for me. I've heard some really gut-wrenching stories of people who have gone against their truth. It's like you live in your own psyche, so that is a powerful place to remember too, that if I don't live my truth, then what? Mm-hmm.
Right.
What an important question.
That's the truth. I mean, contradiction leads to destruction. And I was just having a conversation with Andrew from the breath work. He's like the breath ninja. He was at the convention. But it's one of those things where if we're not congruent in our beliefs, then you're going to live with regret. And if your actions don't correlate to your beliefs, and you're going to have regret. And that's why it's like we need to stand by our beliefs, those beliefs in our what we believe to be true. We need to stand by that. And that's really your convictions, and not to compromise that at any level in practice or in life. We need to stand to our beliefs and hold true to that.
And Ben, I just want to highlight, right? Because you've been called out, so to speak, big ways, and threatened, and the 1-star reviews and the whole thing. So like, as the dark got darker, or as the fire heated up, what keeps you safe? How do you trust the process even deeper as it mounts up and gets bigger?
Well, this is a calling. I'm choosing to follow that calling instead of comfort, right? And so we're heading into rough waters, and our job is not to abandon ship, but to keep her on our course. And this is a calling. Again, my convictions are greater than my fears. My convictions are greater than my fear of injury or persecution. And this is a calling. I don't know how else to put it. We've had a lot of things, but I trust the good Lord is my defender. He goes before me, and I trust in him, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to cower to any earthly master, nor bend to any threat. And that's where we stand here. And this is a calling. This is for the greater good of humanity. And I am reassured, and I have confirmations that we are on the right side of history. We are on the right side of truth. And we need to be reminded by that and stand on that ground. And no matter if nobody believes us, we are on the right side of truth, and we're trying to protect the art of healing that is being hijacked right now by a tyrannical institution. And we are the only thing standing in between that is us. And we need to understand that this is our role, this is our duty. And as you say so often, and we were made for such a time as this, right?
That's it. And the reward, I want to highlight both of you too. You had your kids at the Big Idea. You had your kids at the Health Freedom Symposium. Ben, your little guy was up on the stage with Billy of all people, but also at the end chanting, more than 12. I get goosebumps because the reward, the spiritual reward of what we're sowing into our children at this time far outweighs any money, any retribution that we could face, right? Like it's priceless to watch your babies be there.
Oh yeah. And that's why that's why we do what we do. We're protecting, this is for them. Yep. We're going to be passing the baton on to them. And so I want to make this world a better place for them, for their children's children. I get emotional thinking about it, but really it's for them. We need to understand that we're their protectors. We're their defenders. And I'm willing to die on this hill. And, I'm willing to sacrifice my practice, my livelihood, my license for the truth. And it's no matter how slanderous they may be. And, my hometown printed an article on the front page paper last week about chiropractors, the leading cause of misinformation. They had my name on there. And that article went all worldwide. In Australia, chiropractors calling me, dude, you're in Melbourne, Australia, on the news article saying you're giving chiropractic a bad name. And I'm like, I'm defending chiropractic. I'm defending our rights. But people, chiros, if you're listening, we are the only thing preserving the true message of health right now. And it is such a calling.
So important. And I just get goosebump after goosebump of knowing why Innate said, get these people on a call. So let's rock through the questions. Ready? All right. So what's the biggest lesson that you have learned over the last 18 months about health, about humanity? What have you learned that you didn't know before?
People are ready.
It's good. So my turn. This is rapid question. Yeah, rapid. Yeah. Okay. I'm picking up to throw it down. Okay. I was waiting for Lorna to expand on that, but so it's good. I would say to stand by your convictions, and your convictions will bring you your tribe.
And you see that happening everywhere. We're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. Right. And, so if we go into subluxations, for anybody who's listening, when you hear the word subluxation, it literally translates to sub, which is less, lux, which is light, ation is state of being. So we're looking at where there is less light there's a state of less light or dis-ease. That's what chiropractors are looking for when they feel through a person's system. So if you feel like, because you guys haven't arrived at the pinnacle, you're not all knowing, you're not a guru, you're not a God here on earth. You are man, you are woman. So you probably have a subluxation in your own life. So as I ask, like currently, what's your biggest subluxation?
I have many. I think currently my biggest is, am I ready to step into more? And I know I'm not, but am I still going to step, if that makes sense? I can feel, I said this to someone yesterday, that I've been in practice 12 years, 10 or 11 years ago, I wrote a 10-year statement, and it ended in 2020. And it was really fulfilling. And when I knew it was coming to an end of that 10-year statement, I was like, okay, what's next? What am I? And I could not see it. And I pride myself on being someone who is generally carries a far vision, and I couldn't see it. And now I feel like I'm coming into it again. And that it almost scares me a lot to think about what we can accomplish now. So I think my subluxation is letting go of feeling like, I need to be liked, or that everyone needs to agree with me, or what it's going to take courage wise to do the next thing. Who am I to do that? Who am I to step outside what has been so comfortable for me these last 10 years? I've lived a great life in chiropractic, and it probably can be even better, but it's going to take courage to step into that. So I think the subluxation I have right now is like getting the vision, as well as just the humanness of the things that I'm going to have to let go of as comfort. Mm-hmm.
Well said. Well said. For me, the biggest thing is I feel like I'm running on fumes with all the events that we've been doing. The speaking engagements that I have here locally are almost every week, multiple times a week. And it's been overwhelming, the amount of attention, which is good. I know people are starving for the information that we have out there, but I feel like, I love the quote by Zig Ziglar. He said, life's like a bicycle wheel. Every area of life is a spoke on that wheel. And if you don't pay attention to each spoke, you're not going to have balance in life. And so I'm kind of feeling a little bit of just a subluxation of my life, just in time. And, I'm still committed to this fight that sometimes that, it takes over, and I wake up sometimes going, hey, it's all over with. And I look out the window and the train's still moving. And so I feel like, I need to be better at taking care of myself and being just present, that present time consciousness with my patients, with my family, and not be so, let this whole thing take my identity. And that's really my biggest subluxation in this.
And so if I bounce back and I don't give you time to think about it, as rapid fire as you can, what's the adjustment that needs made? What's the adjustment?
Basically, so just spending time with the family, being present in every area, wherever I go, be present.
Lona?
Just step into the courage, step into it like I have in the past. And I think that's sometimes where our past can show us that maybe this is different, but there's patterns in everything. We've done it before, and maybe not at this level. And I believe 100% what Dr. Ben said is like, I think we're being called, we're being led. God has a plan for chiropractors right now. And when I said that the people are ready, part of what I mean is, it was a sad story for us to tell that kept us playing small for many years, that like, oh, they don't get it. They get it. They need more of us that are ready to talk about innate and vitalism and the God-given ability to heal.
Yeah, we can't create change if we don't do the change, right? So, all right. So you feel it even bigger looking at your practice, right? Because in order to innovate into the changing of the times, as the systems collapse and reorganize and there's disruption at every level, our practices are going to have to innovate, right? So if we look at your chiropractic practice and how it needs to upgrade through the time, what's your current biggest practice subluxation?
To handle the amount of growth that we've experienced in the last year, That's my biggest thing. We have major growing pains in my office. I'm a simple guy. I've been seeing, this amount of patients. We've been saying, we kind of fluctuate, but in the last year, we've just exploded. And I literally, I need counsel on how to handle the growth. That's the biggest thing.
Good problem to have.
Right.
Yeah, same. I feel like I've been brought up in a system that was highly efficient and maximized around like keeping our team small. And I know that to, like Ben said, to handle what we're capable of, and also some of the opportunity that I think is there right now as we are watching this old model of healthcare crumble, literally. I just feel like, okay, this dream has to upgrade to have more people involved in it than I ever would have seen a few years ago. And that is my subluxation right now. Is it kind of goes back to what I said, my personal subluxation and the practice subluxation, they're all connected. Like, am I ready to play at a bigger field? And that might require me to adjust less, which I felt like I already wasn't adjusting as often. And that is an identity shift too, of like, where am I best served in this current state that we're in? Or maybe I'm not served, where I'm the best at serving. That's maybe the best.
To your team and your community, right? Like,
correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just adjustments, right? It's the whole picture. It's people getting the big idea. It's really serving families in this time. I know how much both of you bring to that table. Can you see the adjustment that needs made in each of your cases?
Yes. Yep. I mean, it's definitely
bringing on some help, Dr. Ben.
Bringing on help or remodeling. There's a lot of different variables there that I've thought about. But yes, and I can relate with Lona too, just handling too, like, is my calling outside even my office? Because that's, I feel like I'm busier outside of my office than in my office. And so that's does God call me outside the office to make a bigger impact? So, yeah. So,
and that's a subluxation I think many of us carry, where we've become so identified with how many people we serve in our four walls that it's such a mental thought process to change, to realize that you are valuable even if your hand isn't giving an adjustment.
Oh, right.
Yes.
And the adjustment is made at a soul level, right? So how do we do that? How do we play the BJ Palmer multiplication game of green books and radio stations that adjust people's souls for years to come? Right. So that will segue into chiropractic. So if you were to lay your hand over the chiropractic profession, right, where is chiropractic subluxation?
Complacency. Yep. Go ahead, Lona.
I think we have gotten out of touch with what we say. We coined the term ATIO, above, down, inside out, but I don't know that we apply it to our profession, to our business, to our colleagues, to our patients, to realize that everything is part of this divine order and intelligence. And we are in position right now because we are meant to be wherever we are right now. So I don't get me wrong. I think the next upgrade to the system is where we're being pushed into our leadership now. It's happening, whether we're going to go kicking or screaming with it or not. So, complacency definitely has been an issue, but it's almost like the squeeze, the contracture that's happening right now is forcing you out of complacency, so God will move us through this, I believe.
Right. I 100% agree with that. And I think that, complacency, but also conformity. I think that's a big one. A lot of chiropractors are afraid to ruffle the feathers. And again, the opposite of courage is not being a coward. It's conformity. That's just doing what everybody else is doing, regardless to your beliefs and regardless to what is right. And as chiros, we're meant to be uncommon. We're meant to stand out, to be the leaders in true healthcare. And so that means we need to do what's right and have the convictions to do so, regardless to what everybody else is doing. I feel like a lot of chiros right now are just so complacent, and they're conforming to the nonsense, even though their beliefs are not being congruent to their belief systems and what they believe. I have colleagues that they're like, dude, I 100% agree with you. I'm with you 100%. And then I see them with the gloves and the stickers that say 6 feet apart in their clinics. I'm like, you're not congruent. I'm like, that's a major contradiction. and contradiction will lead to destruction. And so we need to, I don't know, we need in that subluxation, what's the cure for that? We need to get adjusted, and we need to make an adjustment in our mindset and to be true to our belief system. And so.
Yeah, Devin and I talked about this, I feel like early on last year, where it was like, almost like, not everyone is sturdy enough right now to maybe share a voice in a fashion like you are, Dr. Ben, where, you've got so many people paying attention, and I'm so grateful for your voice. But part of what you might be getting squeezed to do is to get really rooted, get around the people, have certainty and clarity, and maybe none of us know what's happening next, but we have foundations that are, they are sturdy and unshakable in some of this. So, that is really important right now too, as part of what I think, is the adjustment, is getting solid again in our philosophy and our reason that we exist as chiropractors.
Yeah.
Yes. Amen. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. Certainty, clarity, and community. Right. And then a little courage, and chiropractic could take this game to a whole different level. And I do think, and part of why I felt so called to reach out to you, and why I'm going to follow up with Stan and some other, people in our, we've all been in practice about a decade, right? And it's like, we are the bridge where there's like the Sids, and there's the Billies, and there's the Tims. And it's like, it is our time to lead and innovate as well. We see what chiropractic has done, but steadily we've adjusted about 12% of the population, right? What are we going to do about that? And I think it's the two of you are doing it. And just in this conversation, I have faith that we'll be guided in what's next in leadership in terms. So moving out, if we expand even a little bigger, this one's kind of a big one. What's humanity's biggest subluxation right now?
I think we have lived in a very physical based universe where what I know to be true is what I can set my hand on, feel my physical body. We've lost touch with that we are more than our physical bodies. And as we help people see the divine spark within them, this nature, this mind, body, spirit, I don't care what you call it personally, to know that there is order, intelligence in your system, to listen to that within, that changes your whole entire world. When you know that you are more than your material parts, that's to me, that is the game changer right now, is we are waking up that this 3D world is not all that there is.
I love that. I love the quote that we're not just human beings having a spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings. We're spiritual vessels having this human experience, and the spiritual realm is the real reality realm. And I love that. And so going and kind of piggybacking off of that, I would say the greatest subluxation too is fear. And the great Fred Barge said that fear is the fire that fuels the furnace of disease. And when we are in a fearful state, you're in a diseased state. And and we're not God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control, and a sound mind. And we need to just be how do you say it? We're not meant to live in fear. And so that's in my view, that's the greatest subluxation in humanity.
And it we can see it, right? Can you imagine the shift of the world waking up and understanding these big ideas of leaning into faith over fear as the tide begins to turn, and they can see the unity of body, mind, and soul, and the world goes from being all about matter and medication and numbing the pain and all of that, and it shifts into being, I'm powerful beyond measure. We can see it, right? It feels closer than it's ever been, even though it's more chaotic and it's all of the things. We did call out for this change. This is what we've been trying to do. Last question is, how do we create opportunities for more people to wake up to the big idea?
Day by day, conversations in front of you. They're all divine appointments.
I would say, just be bold, speak the truth with conviction and certainty, and not be afraid to ruffle feathers. But when you speak with convictions, people will listen to it. And, the people are starving for it. They're absolutely starving for it. And I love the John O'Leary. He wrote a book called On Fire. And he said, when you find your purpose, when you have your convictions, you need to go after it with everything you got, because God demands it. Your family deserves it. And the people are starving for it.
Guys, we just like sandwiched a whole lot in like a little vessel of time. And what does BJ say? You never know how far reaching, right? And so as we package this out and we send out a wave, an adjustment into hopefully the hearts and hands and souls of chiropractic and every life they touch. There it is.
Can you say hi, guys? They just came around the corner. Say hello.
Yes,
So,
I love it.
Say hi.
Hi.
Okay.
You're
Can you
so
take-
cute.
Love it.
And that's it. And there's the divine appointment, the reminder of this isn't about us.
Amen.
And there are high stakes in this game. So thank you both for creating time. I'll make sure that with this, people know how to get a hold of you, and more conversations like this to come, because one of the things that I know I've talked about with Lona and Stan and Ben is it is our time to lead in a way in chiropractic. And so I look forward to more masterminds like this. With
Yes.
you.
Amen. Well, I love and appreciate you so much. So you guys are awesome. And this is the one great thing that Coroni Baloney has brought us, is brought us so many like-minded people and just the true warriors in the field. So I love you guys so much.
Love you right back.
Yes.
Carry on. Onward we go.
Amen.
Well, all right. So what's the one thing? What's the one thing that just lit up for you in this episode of If They Knew? Because it is one thing to listen or watch or feel your way through these conversations. And it is a whole different thing to grab a hold of something and turn it into action. It is a whole different thing to fire it and wire it and use it to create the health, to create the happiness, to create the life that you know is possible for you. And that's my highest hope here, my friends. So what's the one thing? What's the one thing you learned that you didn't know? What's the one thing that you can take and apply right here, right now? And maybe it's not for you. Maybe the reason that you tuned in today is so that you could share it on to somebody else. Maybe there's a friend or a family member or a coworker, and throughout this episode you thought, she needs to hear this, or, oh my gosh, this would really help him. Share it, right? That is how we weave together this tapestry of light and hope and power and potential beyond our wildest dreams, because we have a choice in how we engage in these wild times, my friends. And for me, I choose healing. I choose growing. I choose thriving. I choose the light. And you must too, or you wouldn't be here. So I hope that I get to meet you and hug you and see you at the Big Idea 2022. So make sure you check the description to mark your calendars for that. And if you can't wait till April of 2022 and you want to come play with a community like this, like the episode you just got to watch, then you need to join Shine. That is the community space, the playground, the training ground that we have created. If you want to be a part of a revolution of the light workers, the truth seekers that take responsibility for their health, that step into the if it is to be, it's up to me mentality and grit, well, Shine is for you. So I'm here for you. I love you. I can't wait till the next episode. Please, if you have any requests or I can support you in any way, engage in the comments, shoot me a message. This is it, y'all. This is the time. We were born for such a time as this. I love you. I'll see you soon.